Hello everyone. Running a little bit late again. I found another dimension where they still sell chocolate year-round, as well as the other flavors, by the way. Going back there as soon as we're done here. So, anyway, I guess I need to do a little bit of an introduction for myself. I was relaxing a little bit too much there. Actually, well, normally I wear the hood, but you know what? Not today. So, welcome everyone to Malice Reviews, a show that was literally taken by force by me. I am going to be spreading this not only on my own channel, but also I'll be sharing this particular video with Aussie Arcane. To which, hello to all you new viewers, and I hope you enjoy the show. Well, as I previously mentioned, I am more or less a villain. I guess you'd consider me evil. I do rage on quite a bit, and I've done some things that most people would find questionable. In particular, I originally fought with the more heroic type person that actually ran this show.
He would be talking about me, by the way. And hello everyone, I am Mad Matt, the original host of this review show. I kind of stopped when I became physically unable to show up twice in a row. And also, we stopped fighting each other because it would be a waste of energy. Not to mention we have bigger problems, like where the shadow creatures come from, why we became physically separated, which, by the way, I'm headed back to the lab. I'll check with you later.
Yes. And while you're at it, please tell the Malice Minion to be ready with my reports once I'm done over here. Thank you. So, anyway, today's project, we shall be talking about a action-adventure video game series that, in particular, features vampires. Yes, I know what you're all thinking. More Twilight bullshit. But believe me, what we're about to experience has nothing to do with Twilight. Yes, the typical question is, why would you do anything that has anything to do with vampires? No matter how good they are now tainted by the original sin that is the Twilight franchise. Well, here is the thing. This isn't on our Earth anymore. This is in a world called Nosgoth. If that sounds familiar, then you know where we're headed already. The fantasy realm of the Legacy of Kain. In particular, this is Soul Reaver, the second game in the series. The first, you might be asking? It's expensive as hell, and even if you do manage to find a decent copy, it also had a ton of lag issues back in the day. So, to be honest, it's not the best game ever. But it should be stated that it has some decent founding work done on this game that would bleed into, of course, the sequels, such as Soul Reaver. In the first Legacy of Kain game, Blood Omen 1, we are set up as the main character Kain, a man wrongly killed and brought back to life as a vampire. a now endangered race that once lived in massive numbers in the world of Nosgoth, before humans grew in number, and before their cursed bloodlust took hold of them. Cain is now one of the last few of his race, and seeks to try and cure himself, but is also led on a mission to save the Pillars of Nosgoth, the key to stopping the corruption and death of their world. In the end, Cain slays all the corrupted Pillar Keepers but one. Cain himself was born as the new Balance Guardian upon the death of the last one, which was the spark that started the corruption of the Pillars in the first place. Both too proud after his long journey to just let the vampires die, and not to mention surviving multiple trips through time, and gaining immunity to most vampire weaknesses in the process, Cain has decided he won't slay himself, and instead embarks on a plan to change things once again. That's a mouthful to explain in such a short amount of time. There's a ton of things I'm obviously going to skip because these games are very plot-driven, and while you may be confused a little bit at first, they do eventually explain themselves. Which brings us now to our current game. In Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, our new main character is Raziel, the first of the new race of vampires made by Cain. Over time, vampires have been known for changing and becoming stronger. Raziel was the first, even before Cain, to grow wings. For this surprise treason, he is cursed to die in the Wake of the Dead, a swirling pool of water that tortures as much as it kills, at least for vampires. After what feels like a millennia of torture, Raziel then awakens in what is known as the Spirit Realm. Think the original physical world, only where everything is slightly warped, and instead of normal physical beings, you see the spirits that have been left behind. Raziel, now given the ability to walk between these planes of existence, can use this to go through locked rooms and nasty traps about having to die. Not to mention frequently given a second chance to live if killed in the physical plane. He is told by the character known as the Elder God to seek out his brothers and in the end slay them and Cain to help save the world. Which each of the brothers Raziel kills, he gains new powers, each opening further paths for Raziel to reach until he finally can have his great finale with Cain. Finally got that out of the way. This is going to be a long descriptor for just about everything, including the brothers, by the way. The brothers, while also handing Raziel abilities once defeated, are very twisted persons underneath the skin to begin with, but the allowed hundreds of years since Raziel's original demise in the Wake of the Dead has also let these guys evolve into more twisted versions of themselves, so they are just about as nasty outside as they are inside now. Anyway, with all that explained, I do believe we have a few more deeper things to talk about with this game, other than just the plot itself. For a start, this game, despite its age, is very graphic and dark, not just in color, and very gritty. It's a world falling apart, and unlike most vampiric stories where they are the most smexy living thing ever, they are actually twisted monsters that represent everything wrong with humanity as a whole. And while one would point out that this series is based on vampire angst, again, something that would be shown in weaker things like Twilight, things like those, however, represent the silly, unimportant things like who you date, which seems to be a main theme for Twilight. Legacy of Kain, however, has a focus on the destruction, corruption, and possible fixing of a world. The whim of a single man is the catalyst for which the changing of fates is reshaped around, so that everyone can possibly have a far better and more joyous future. And also it's focused on, in this particular chapter and the next one, the fact that he betrayed one of his own kind in hopes of trying to make this change happen. To which, by the way, I should also mention that the end of this game is actually a huge cliffhanger, to be more or less finished in a couple years down the line when we finally get to Soul Reaver 2. So, talk about the plot and explain it out of the way. Let's go into a few more details about the actual gameplay, shall we? First of all, it should be noted that this runs on the same engine as Tomb Raider games from the PlayStation 1 era. This means that things can get a little clunky at times. Thankfully, when it comes to combat, you have a lock-on system. However, when it comes to jumping puzzles at the same time, the camera will still like to fight with you. That particular problem wouldn't get fixed until the PlayStation 2 era of the engine. But for what it is, the visuals are pretty damn good, and the game is very playable on the PlayStation version. The PC version, however, has a lot of issues, at least for the Steam port, that is. The major problem is that it doesn't have any of the patches that came out later, and if you want those patches, you have to put on a hard copy of the game as well, so it's pretty much pointless to do so because most likely we won't have a hard copy of the disc. Controllers will stop behaving around about the time of the level of the second boss, and will continue to screw with you and get worse as time goes on until you reach your maximum range and just quit.
Why do you keep doing this today? Will you stop that? God fucking damn it. Okay. You did it again. Will you stop doing that? Oh my fucking god, you're about to die, you fucking moron! Listen to the goddamn controller! And you randomly flake out and don't even go in the direction you were told to. That's great. God fucking damn it. Just get up there! Get the fuck up there! Get the fuck up there! You fuck! Now, on your knees, so you can stop spazzing. Dude, you just got on a fucking ledge. Stop walking forward! So I will fucking get through this boss today if it fucking kills me.
If possible, it might be more playable if the Pinnacle Game Profiler works with it. Otherwise, just buy the game and then go get an emulator of the PlayStation 1, and then go get the ROM of this particular game. Outside of a few visual bugs with some of the blocks, it's almost the exact same game anyway. This helps to make Soul Reaver pretty good as a first standalone sequel and just game of the franchise. I would suggest you find it wherever you can. The Legacy King games, for the most part, for the main four, Blood Omen 1 not included, are pretty solid in their own ways. While things were buried a bit deep in the Soul Reaver 1, they would make up for it a bit more with a better story and a little bit more streamlined leveling up system with the second Soul Reaver game. So a good start overall, and worth at least a play or two if you manage to get your hands on it, especially if the main story happens to hook you. So again, I'd like to thank you all for watching, both my regular viewers and hopefully the new viewers. And I will see you all next time. Definitely going back to that dimension.